Everyone's chasing the next AI unicorn or the viral app that'll change the world. Everyone chases sexy, high-tech startups, but the real money is hiding in plain sight. And today, I'm going to show you 6 boring businesses that quietly print money and the exact models people used to turn them into million-dollar machines. Let's get started. First up is a business that's a masterclass in automated income. Vending machines. The concept is so simple it's almost insulting. You buy a machine, stick it in a high-traffic spot like an office, school, or apartment complex, and stock it with things people want. That's it. A single machine might only bring in $300 to $500 a month, but the magic isn't in one machine, it's in the scalability. One operator, Jaime Ibanez, started with a single machine right out of high school, which was soon making him $800 a month. He now owns a fleet of 47 machines that pull in over $28,000 in revenue every single month. While some sources claim a 90% success rate for the industry, others point to high failure rates for solo operators who treat it as a set-it-and-forget-it business. The key is treating it like a real logistics business. The initial investment for a machine can be a few $1,000s, and modern software lets you track inventory from your laptop. You're not just selling snacks and drinks, you're selling convenience. And in our fast-paced world, convenience never goes out of style. You can't talk about boring, profitable businesses without mentioning laundromats. According to the Coin Laundry Association, the industry has a staggering 95% survival rate over a 5-year period, which is almost unheard of for small businesses. There are thousands of laundromats in the U.S. generating a combined $5 billion to nearly $7 billion in annual revenue. Why are they so successful? Because clean clothes are a basic need. Laundromats serve a huge customer base, from renters and travelers to families whose own washer just broke. It's a recession-resilient business. On the surface, it looks like the ultimate passive income machine. While it's not entirely hands-off, maintenance and cleanliness are key. The model is incredibly simple and cash flow positive. A well-run laundromat can see profit margins between 20% and 35%. Depending on the location, annual profits can range from $20,000 to over $100,000, with some prime locations exceeding that. Many owners use the cash flow from their first laundromat to buy a second, building a portfolio of cash-generating assets. Next up is a business that thrives on something most people try to avoid: dirt. Commercial cleaning is a giant in the boring business world. The U.S. commercial cleaning industry is enormous, valued at over $90 billion and growing. This isn't just about wiping down desks. It's a critical service for offices, hospitals, and schools that need to maintain a professional and safe environment. The real power here is the recurring revenue model. You're not chasing one-time jobs. You're securing long-term cleaning contracts that provide a predictable, stable income month after month. These contracts can range from a few hundred to over $10,000 a month per client. Startup costs are surprisingly low. You don't need a fancy office, just basic equipment and a reliable work ethic. It's an asset-light business, and profit margins can be healthy, often ranging from 10 to 30%. Because hygiene is non-negotiable, this industry is incredibly resilient. When other companies cut back during tough times, cleaning services are often the last expense to go. The fourth business is a heavy hitter, both literally and financially: owning a dump truck business. This venture is the circulatory system of the construction and real estate industries. Every time a new building goes up, a road gets paved, or a backyard is landscaped, someone needs to haul away dirt and debris. That someone gets paid well. A single dump truck can generate significant revenue, with some owner-operators making a decent living of $80,000 to $120,000 a year after expenses. The business model is straightforward. You secure contracts with construction companies, developers, or municipalities, and your truck gets to work. The biggest hurdle is the initial startup cost. A new dump truck can set you back $150,000 to $200,000, though reliable used trucks can be found for less. While that sounds steep, financing and leasing can make it accessible. Once the truck is paid off, the profit margins can become excellent, with some estimates suggesting 10 to 20% gross margins. This business is about being a reliable partner in a massive industry where demand for hauling is constant. While the broader restaurant industry is notoriously tough, one specific niche boasts a much higher survival rate: delis and sandwich shops. In fact, some data shows only 17% of restaurants fail in their first year, debunking the old myth of 90% failure. Delis often perform even better because they avoid the complexity of fine dining. You don't need a world-renowned chef, just good bread, quality ingredients, and fast, friendly service. People want quick, affordable, and tasty lunch options, and a well-run deli delivers exactly that. Success hinges on a few key factors: a high-traffic location, efficient operations to minimize waste, and a simple menu. A shop selling 150 sandwiches a day at an average price of $9 to $14 can generate annual revenues between $490,000 and $760,000. This business thrives on loyalty. Once you become the go-to lunch spot for local offices, you create a dedicated customer base that provides consistent revenue day in and day out. The final boring business is maybe the most famous wealth-building tool of all time: rental real estate. There's an old saying, often attributed to Andrew Carnegie, that 90% of all millionaires became so through owning real estate. While the quote's origin is debated, the principle holds true today, with studies showing that about 90% of millionaires do in fact own real estate. The model is simple. You buy a property, often using a mortgage, and rent it out. The monthly rent covers your mortgage and expenses, and what's left is your cash flow. But that's just the start. While you're collecting rent, your tenant is paying down your debt, building your equity for you. All the while, the property itself is likely appreciating in value. You're winning in four ways: cash flow, loan paydown, appreciation, and huge tax advantages. You don't get rich overnight, you get rich over a decade. You start with one property, use the equity and cash flow to buy a second, and repeat the process, letting your tenants and the market build your fortune for you. It's the opposite of a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a get-rich-for-sure system. So, we've covered vending machines, laundromats, cleaning services, dump trucks, delis, and real estate. They seem totally different, but the millionaires in these fields all use the same three-part playbook. First is recurring demand. They don't chase fads. They invest in necessities. People will always need food, clean clothes, and a place to live. That makes the business tough to kill. Second is scalable systems. A business that relies only on you is just a job. The goal is to build a system that makes money without you. That's obvious with vending machines, but it's also true for a cleaning business with trained crews or a real estate portfolio with a property manager. And the third and final piece is ownable assets. You're not just making income, you're building equity in something you can sell. A vending route, a laundromat, a fleet of trucks,